Hey there everyone, it's Mrs. Bailey and today we are going to be reading a book about Clara Barton, a pioneer for all. Now, do you know what that word pioneer means? If not, it's okay. We're going to learn about it in the book. And it was written by me and illustrated. I got the pictures from Deposit Photos, EduClips, and maybe even a few from public domain vectors. Okay, as always, follow along with me. I will every now and then put down my cursor like that so you can see where we are in case you've lost your place. This right here is a picture of Clara Barton when she was a little bit older. You can tell because it's a black and white picture. I don't think they had color in their pictures back then. So let's get started. Clara Barton was one of the most amazing women in American history. Many people know her as the founder of the American Red Cross, an organization created to provide disaster relief and help people during emergencies when they need it most. I bet some of you have seen the American Red Cross buses around. You know, they're the ones who draw your blood when they need it for disasters. That was started by her. And while Clara did indeed start the American Red Cross, it's only one of the incredible contributions she made to her country and to the women who live in it. Her success didn't come easy, though. She had many struggles through life, starting at an early age. Clara was born on December 25th, 1821 in Massachusetts to Stephen and Sarah Barton, and was the youngest of 5 children. She was especially close to her brother David, who was very protective of her. Now, why do you think they have this Christmas tree right here? Maybe it has something to do with the day she was born, December 25th. She was born on Christmas Day. When Clara was young, she had a stutter that she couldn't control. And because of this, she would shy away from other people. This made it difficult for her to have many friends. And this is one reason she was so close to David. She knew David would never make fun of her. Okay, this word right here, stutter, it's in bold, dark print. So we know it's a pretty important word. Do you guys know what a stutter is? A stutter is when you sometimes repeat the first sounds of words. For instance, he went to the pond. So everybody stutters at some point in time. I stutter, all kinds of people stutter, everybody stutters. But some people stutter a little more than others. So it kind of slows down their ability to talk in a really fluid manner. And for this reason, Clara was very self-conscious. So it made her shy. And she would shy away from other people. And this is why she was so close to her brother David, because it says he would never make fun of her. And she was probably afraid to speak in public because other people would make fun of her because of her stutter. But should we do that? Is that a reason to make fun of someone? No. Everybody has something. I have something. My kids both have something. My husband has something. All of my friends have something. Everybody has something that they wish they didn't have. Hers just happened to be a stutter. Unfortunately, when Clara was 11 years old, David was in a terrible accident. He fell from the rafters in their barn, and doctors didn't expect him to live. Clara was heartbroken, but she was determined to care for him and help him get better. She was always great with helping the hurt animals on the farm, so she knew she could help David as well. And she did. And over here, it tells us what rafters means. Rafters are the beams inside a building that help support the roof. So this right here is a barn, and the rafters would be way up high here. So that means David was way up high on one of these rafters and fell to the ground. I can see where that would really hurt you. Say he was way up high in this barn and fell all the way to the bottom of it. That's like falling from a tall tree. that would hurt you. For 2 years, Clara took care of David and helped nurse him back to health. It was during this time that she truly realized her passion for caring for things. But despite her accomplishment of helping David overcome his illness, Clara was still very shy. So even though she gained a lot of confidence by helping nurse her brother back to health, it still didn't overcome the fact that she was super shy because of her stutter. And that's a shame. Her family thought she should face her fear and encouraged her to become a teacher. Schools really wanted to hire her because she was a fantastic teacher, but when Clara found out that the male teachers made more money for the same job, she would decline the offers. So when she found out men teachers made more than women teachers, she would turn the offers down. Eventually, they agreed to pay the higher wage to women teachers as well. She was considered a pioneer for women teachers. So this word pioneer, it's in bold print, so we know it's going to be an important word. Plus, it was on the cover of the book. So, have you thought about it? Do you know what a pioneer is? I bet you have seen pioneers and pictures in those covered wagons coming across America. They're the first one to settle parts of America. Well, that's why they're called a pioneer. They were the first people to do something. And Clara was the first person to help, one of the first people to help fight for equal pay for men and women teachers. So that's why she was called a pioneer. In the 19th century, most American students attended a one-room schoolhouse. One teacher would usually have students in the 1st through 8th grades. She or he could have anywhere from 5 students to over 40 students. So, can you imagine being in your classroom with people younger and older than you, not just by a few months like they are now, but by years? Can you imagine if you're a 1st grade student, say you're 6 or 7 years old, and you have a 12 or 13-year-old in the classroom with you? And you have one teacher trying to teach everyone. That's a question for your teacher. I wonder if she or he would like that. I know that I would have thought that it was really hard. After teaching for 11 years, Clara chose to continue her education by going to college. Upon graduating, she saw the need to teach children in free public schools so that everyone could get a good education. The local school board didn't think this would work, but they let her try anyway. It did work, and just when things were going great, the school board fired Clara and hired a man for the job. Clara didn't let this setback deter her. She continued moving forward, though not in the teaching field. So, setback, it's an obstacle. It's something that got in her way, and she didn't let it stop her. That's what deter means. And over here, it says, Clara Barton School, one of the earliest free schools of New Jersey, established 1852 by Clara Barton, founder of the American Red Cross. So this is a sign that is currently, like right now, in front of the one-room schoolhouse that she used to teach in. And I'm sure they've done a lot of repairs on it to make it still be standing. But so this is a sign that you can see nowadays, and this is the person who took the picture of that sign. Clara began working at the U.S. Patent Office in Washington, D.C., where she again had many struggles, simply because she was a woman. While working at the Patent Office, the American Civil War broke out in 1861. This was a war between the northern and southern states. Clara had heard that the soldiers were unable to get the medical supplies and food they needed in order to survive. So Clara quit her job at the Patent Office and began organizing a way to get the soldiers and doctors the supplies they needed. Okay, guys, So do you know what a patent is? A patent, let's see up here, because she worked at the U.S. Patent Office in Washington, D.C. So that is, it's like when someone invents something. Say you invented the first lunchbox that opened itself. Okay, that's a weird thing, but anyway, let's just go with it. You invented the first lunchbox that opens itself, but somebody saw how you invented it, and they went behind your back and they invented one too. Well, now you're both trying to sell the first self-opening lunchbox. Well, if you have a patent on it, then it's pretend it's like a piece of paper who says nobody else can invent that same thing that you have just invented. So that's what the U.S. Patent Office in Washington, D.C. did. They provided those so other people couldn't steal your inventions. Clara herself was often seen on the battlefield helping the soldiers, and because of this, she was given the name Angel of the Battlefield. So we know that a battlefield, that's where the people were fighting in the war. But why do you think she was called Angel of the Battlefield? What is an angel? Or what do you think of when you think of the word angel? Well, I kind of think of someone who is protecting you and helping you. And so she was helping people on the battlefield. So I think that's why she was given the name Angel of the Battlefield. Clara not only personally helped give aid to the soldiers, but she also helped start some basic hygiene procedures for doctors to follow in order to help stop infection in soldiers, such as sterilizing their equipment and washing their hands before surgery. Until this time, they had not been doing this. Okay, so this word hygiene procedures, that's just making sure things are clean. Like your basic hygiene would be that you take a bath, you brush your teeth, you wash your hands before you use the restroom, before you eat and after you use the restroom. Just that's basic hygiene procedures. And up until this time, doctors weren't washing their hands or cleaning their equipment before they would work on people. So if they work on one sick person and then they go straight over and work on another sick person and they don't wash their hands, what do you think is wrong with this scenario? Why do you think it is important that they wash their hands? It's because they could be spreading the germs from one person to another person. They could be spreading germs from their own selves to someone. So until this time, they didn't have procedures set in place to make sure that the doctors washed their hands or sterilized or cleaned their equipment before they worked on sick people. And Clara put that into place. It says during this time, there were no formal nursing degrees offered. So she was a self-taught nurse. She did a lot for a self-taught nurse. In 1865, after the war was over, Clara started a new mission with trying to find missing and dead soldiers. During the next 4 years, she was able to locate over 22,000 missing soldiers and bring closure to their families. So this word here, closure, it says bring closure to their families. What do you think that means? Because she found missing or dead soldiers. I mean, it's not a good thing to hear that your loved one has died in war, but at least it brings peace to the family. And they realize what has happened, and now they can go on with their life. Some people she actually found that were just missing. That's a great scenario. If you're ever in Washington, D.C., you can even visit the Clara Barton Missing Soldiers Office Museum. By this time, Clara was exhausted, and upon the advice of her doctor, she took a well-needed vacation to Europe, where she learned of the International Red Cross in Switzerland. This was an organization that helped people wounded in war, and it sparked an idea in Clara to form the American Red Cross, which she did in 1881. So this right here is a picture of the International Red Cross in Switzerland. And international means different countries, several different countries. So they helped people in different countries wounded in war. And Clara was hoping to bring that same idea over for American people. The American Red Cross not only provides assistance during wartime, but rather with any disaster relief, including hurricane relief, flood relief, fire relief, and much more. I'm sure you've all seen the buses at some point driving down the highway. That's what we were talking about in the beginning, those big blood bank buses that we see sometimes where people can go in and give blood. This right here kind of looks like an ambulance to me. But right there on the side, it says American Red Cross Disaster Relief. And they help with other disasters besides just hurricanes, floods, fires. War. They help with all kinds, tornadoes, anything like that. The Red Cross provides assistance with disasters by offering supplies, food and water, health care, sanitation services, and reconnecting families. They help with more than this too, but this is just some of the major ones. And when it says sanitation services, do you know what that is? That's, for instance, say somebody, they're in a hurricane. After the hurricane, the whole water system is down and they can't find a place to, say, use the bathroom. This is what they help with. They help find that so that it's clean for people. Over here is just a picture of the American Red Cross in Washington, D.C. And down here we have just pictures of some of the disasters that the Red Cross may help with. We have a fire. This looks like it's probably after a hurricane or a tornado or something. And then this is just the headlines of Hurricane Katrina when it hit in New Orleans. Clara Barton's story doesn't end there, though. She is also the reason you have a first aid kit in your classroom, or home, or just about anywhere else. She established the National First Aid Association of America in 1905, which made first aid kits for us to use in case of emergencies. So, not only was Clara Barton a pioneer for, men and women teachers making the same pay, for finding missing soldiers, for starting hygiene procedures with doctors, she's also the reason that we have first aid kits in our classrooms. I have one, or I had one in my classroom, my car, my house. I have them everywhere. And right down here, we see a few of the items that might belong in a first aid kit. We see some scissors. That's for if she's probably wanting to cut some gauze to wrap somebody's hand or foot. Let's see, there's safety pins. I don't know, you use them for something. What all kinds of things would you find in a first aid kit? Maybe some ointment to help with infection, like, I don't know, just some kind of antibiotic ointment, Band-Aids. There's a lot of things you can find in a first aid kit. Clara's contribution to this world is significant. That means it means a lot. And it all started with one little girl who was made fun of because she stuttered. Clara Barton proves that one person really can make a difference. So guys and girls, if you have an idea in mind that you want to do, and if you want to make a difference, or if you just want to do something, you can. If Clara Barton can, you certainly can. I hope you enjoyed learning about Clara Barton. I had a good time reading and learning stuff while I was trying to find information about her. And until next time, hope you have a great day.